In this video, we got another episode of the series where I rate and improve your guys' teams. You guys will send me your teams on Twitter at X7Tanaka. I'll put a tweet maybe once every couple of days, maybe once a week at most, and you guys can reply to that tweet just like everybody in this video did. You guys can reply to that tweet. My Twitter is X7Tanaka. You reply to that tweet with your squad, how much MT you guys have, and then you do have a chance to be featured in one of these videos, and I'll give you guys my best suggestions and also a rating out of 10 of what I think about your squad. But also let me know in the comment section down below your guys' squad and how much MT you guys have, and I'll try to go through as many comments as possible under this YouTube video and give you guys as many suggestions as possible as I can. But looking at the first squad here, coming in from King Drac, I think is how you say his name. He's got a really good squad. I mean, you got Draymond, LeBron, that dynamic duo. You got Zion, Jokic, Rick Smith, you got Gary Payton, Steve Smith, Carmelo, Kareem, Artis Gomar. Like, you've got a really good team and 400,000 MT to work with. I would say for the rating out of 10, probably somewhere in like the 9 to 9.5 range. I mean, there's definitely some suggestions, especially at your point guard position. I think with 400k, getting cards like Ron Artest are a big upgrade over a Gary Payton. So what I would do at least for your point guard position is I would look to get Ron Artest to play your starting point guard spot and then move Draymond to the backup point guard. Two shooting guards, obviously LeBron's really good, Steve Smith is good. Small forwards, I like Zion. I think you could get a better small forward like a Brian Scalabrine. His hero version's only about 5,000 MT and he's so much better than Carmelo in my opinion. So if you wanted to, he's an option, or cards like Sean Kemp, Jermaine O'Neal, those are pretty solid options as well. And then for your power forward position, I like that Jokic card, but I mean, potentially you could get Marc Gasol. I think he's better than a Nikola Jokic. I think there are some better power forwards, but mainly just get Ron Artest and maybe look for a backup small forward. But other than that, you do have a really good squad. Looking at the next team here, coming in from Seba, he's got about 235 KMT to work with, and he does have another really well-rounded squad. You got cards like Taco, Yao, Rick Smith, Zion. You know, you got Nikola Jokic at your point guard position. I would say for this team, probably like a 8.5 to 9. I'm not really the biggest fan of your backup, your bench backcourt. I would say that's probably where you want to upgrade first. So for your backup point guard position, once again, I think Ron Artest is the clear, obvious choice. Or if you want to go super cheap, I would get Gali Turkoglu to play that backup point guard position. His hero version is now only down to 10 to 15k. For your backup shooting guard, I mean, even just go get a DeMar DeRozan, go get a Ricky Davis. Both those cards are way better than Antoine Jameson in my opinion. Once again, for backup small forward, I would go hero Brian Scalabrine. I think he's a really good choice for the backup small forward spot. And after you make those three suggestions, I think your team is pretty much good to go, and you do now have a very good squad after those couple suggestions. But looking at the next squad here, coming in from Christopher, he's got about 200,000 MT to work with, and he does have another really good squad. I mean, cards like Zion, Rick Smith, Alonzo Mourning. I do like this team a little bit more than Seba's just because it's a little bit more well-rounded. Both great squads. I'd say it's probably like in between a 9 and a 9.5 for your suggestions. Once again, I think actually your bench backcourt is where I would upgrade. I know it's crazy, but I'm going to give pretty much the same upgrades. I'd go Ron Artest backup point guard, or Hiro Turkoglu, or Draymond Green, or Lance Stevenson, all great options. And then I would definitely get Vince Carter over Bernard King. I do think he's a lot better at shooting guard and is a great point guard to have coming off the bench. Other than that, once again, if you want to get a Marc Gasol over Jokic, you want to get a Dirk over Jokic, you want to get a D-Rob over Jokic, I think those power forwards might be a little bit better. I would go Marc Gasol personally, but I do think you're pretty much good to go and have a very, very good squad after those couple suggestions. Looking at the next team though, coming in from Drips, he's got about 177,000 MT to work with, or at least that's what he's saying, and he does have a solid budget squad. I would say probably the weakest team we've looked at so far. For the rating, I'd probably give this like a 7, maybe 6.5 to 7. It's a solid team. You got some good cards like KPJ, Earl Lloyd, you know, Hakeem Olajuwon. I'm gonna give you a 10-man rotation to run with. I do think this can really improve your squad. So for your 2 point guards, if you like KPJ, just bring him to the bench and go Hiro Turkoglu starting point guard, KPJ backup point guard. 2 shooting guards, we'll go Vince Carter and we'll go Earl Lloyd. 2 small forwards, we'll go Hero Brian Scalabrine and and AK off the bench. 2 power forwards will go Marc Gasol and Hakeem Olajuwon as your 2 power forwards, and then for your 2 centers, we'll go Brook Lopez and Pink Diamond Peter. If you were to make that 10-man rotation, you can maybe also get a card like Ralph Sampson to play center, you know, potentially to have that one giant if you have enough MT left over. But if you can build that 10-man rotation, I do think it's a lot better than the current 10-man the current 10-man you have currently. But yeah, I do think your squad is okay, but those are my suggestions, and that would be my 10-man rotation with using some of the cards you currently have and making a pretty big upgrade to your team. Looking at the next squad though, coming in from Chris, he's got Artis at the 4 and Rick Smith at the 5 and Ralph Sampson as a backup. So he's saying, you know, starting power forward is going to be Artis Gilmore, starting 5 is going to be Rick Smith, and then his backup 5 is going to be Ralph Sampson. So yeah, those are definitely the suggestions I would have said, you know, to at least go for it, to grind. But yeah, that's nice that you got Artis Gilmore, you got a Rick Smith, and you do have Ralph Sampson. Rating out of 10, if you do have those cards in your lineup, I would say probably close to like a 9.5. Once again, it's a solid squad. I know it's crazy. I think the main suggestions are your backup front, or backup bench. What? Your backup, I cannot word this right. Your bench backcourt is what I'm trying to say. Deshaun Livingston and Caron Butler are the 2 places I would look to upgrade if you got 1.5 mil. If you want to make some big upgrades, I think cards like Luka Doncic potentially could be in your lineup as your backup point guard, right? He could be backup point guard if you want to go for a shooting guard. I think cards like DeMar DeRozan, cards like Vince Carter, Ricky Davis, Glenn Robinson, all solid options for that backup 2 spot. Other than that, I think you're pretty much good to go. You can maybe look for a taller power forward as your backup, maybe get a Taco Fall potentially. He could definitely be in there as well, but I think you have a really good starter squad. I would just look to upgrade your backup 1 and your backup 2. I would get Ron Artest or Luka and also get Vince Carter. But looking at the next squad here, coming in from, I think, Rowe, he's got 500,000 MT and honestly one of the best squads. I just wanted to put him in here just to show like one of the best teams in the game. I mean, yeah, this is pretty much a 10 out of 10. I only give 10s for what I think is the best team in the game, so this would be like a 9.8 or a 9.9 unless I think it's the exact best squad. In my opinion, you know, I mean, for most people, yeah, this is a 10. For me, I would say it's like a 9.8 or a 9.9, but yeah, most people, this is obviously a 10 out of 10 squad. He's not even using Shaq in his 10-man rotation. I will say, man, unless you just hate that Shaq card, I would definitely be looking to run him over Taco Fall. I think him and Rick Smith in that backup front court is really, really dominant. But yeah, this is one of the best teams in the game. Obviously, no real suggestions. Yeah, all I would really do is move Rick Smith to the, or all I would do is move Shaq to the backup power forward, and then you honestly could make the argument this is the best team in the game. So yeah, this is a 10 out of 10 squad. And then looking at the last team here of the video, guys, comes in from, I think it's pronounced, yeah, Martin. I'm not gonna try to pronounce his, I think, last name, but yeah, Martin, he's on next gen and has 300,000 MT. For this squad, I would say rating out of 10, probably like a solid 9. I would say like another 8.5 to 9, maybe 9.5 at most, but yeah, probably 8.5 to 9. For your suggestions, backup point guard, I would look to get a Draymond Green, a Lance Stevenson, a Ron Artest. Those are the point guards that I would go for. And if you do get Ron Artest, I would start him over Hito and then bring him off and bring Hito Turkoglu off the bench. For your 2 shooting guards, I like T-Mac, I like Steve Smith. For your 2 small forwards, I like Zion, I like Big Z. 2 power forwards, I like Gardas and Ralph Sampson in the front courts. Hakeem and Sabonis is where I would look to upgrade. I would get Taco Fall to play your backup power forward position, and then I would look to get a Marc Gasol, a Dirk, a D-Rob to play center, because basically in game, Taco Fall is going to be your center. He'll guard the opponent's center, and then you can have a D-Rob, a Dirk, a Marc Gasol to pretty much play your power forward position. So those would be my suggestions for your squad. But yeah, that's going to do it, guys, for another episode of this series why you rate and improve your guys' team. Like I said at the start, let me know in the comment section down below what your guys... Let me know what your squad is currently looking like in the comment section, and also let me know how much MT you guys have, and I'll try to go through and give you guys as many, I'll try to give as many people as possible responses and give you guys my best suggestions to help improve your teams. But I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.